The Battlehawks pull off another win in Week 3 of the UFL, surprisingly on a defensive stop,
They're 3 for 3
although it really wasn't the defense as he kind of just threw the ball over his receiver, but that puts the Battlehawks at 2-1 with the Brahmas, who are undefeated, at 2-1 as well, and we are at a prime position to, I believe, take first place in the division. It depends on what the defenders are, but we'll see. We'll see that later. Play. So, another win for our St. Louis Battlehawks. Very offensive-prone game. There wasn't that much defense, and one thing that I would take away from this game is that our defense is not that good either. Brahmas, they played pretty good. We're trying to mount a comeback late, but it failed. Really interesting decision not to go for the 4th and 12 and to kick it away. At the end there, it was before the 2-minute warning. They basically had 4 timeouts at that point. And of course, we went out on a 3-0. We did not convert one, so we had to punt the ball back. But I still feel like they should have went for that 4th and 12, as it's been really easy to pick up this year. But speaking of that punt almost got blocked, and that would have probably had us lose the game if they went for 8. At the best case scenario, they don't get the extra point, obviously. They were likely just going to try the game with 1, but there was a potential chance they would have went for 2 and won the game. But yeah, that punt just went over the guy's hands, or he just barely hit it, and we got them at their own 15. Of course, they drive around the 40, get to a 4th down. It was 3rd and 4, actually. We almost sacked him off of a 3 rush, which I feel like we should have at least rushed 4 there. And he, kind of flinged the ball. It looked like the ball fell out of his hand, so they were ruling 4th and 8. But apparently, it wasn't a fumble. I thought it was a fumble. It looked like the ball fell out of his hands more than he pushed it, had a throwing motion for it. But obviously that didn't matter, as you saw in the beginning clip, because he overthrew his receiver on 4th and 4, and we got the win off of that. Now, start off with the Battlehawks. A.J. McCarron had another decent, really good day. He went 19 for 27 for 152 yards. He averaged 5.6 for play, and he threw 1 passing touchdown for a QBR of 96.5. McCarron, we already know he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Made another statement today. Really happy for him. He also ran a good amount. He ran 4 times for 22 yards, which, is only a 5.5 average, but he ran in a touchdown for us, and I'm pretty sure that was his long. That was the 10. Sailors, he went 7 for 62 with an average of 8.9 and 1 touchdown. His long was 25. And Durant, who had that big run last game to set up that win, he ran 8 for 30 today for an average of 3.8 and no touchdown, but he also had a long of 10. So A.J. McCarron, both on running and passing, is looking really good. Better than the first start of the year when we played the Panthers. He has not thrown an interception yet, which I am really proud of, but we did have a fumble by one of these receivers. It was a screen at the beginning of the 3rd quarter that just fell out of his hands. That made the game closer. We would have probably pulled away because our offense was lights out, basically. We didn't punt until the last offensive possession of the game, where we went 3 and out. So, obviously, our offense was on a heater. We didn't really make that many mistakes. It was just, unfortunately, that one fumble. Butler caught 6 for 87 yards and 1 touchdown. He was targeted 8 times, but his long was a 33 on a 3rd and 17. I thought we were going to kick it back to them and they would have taken the lead there. But that pass from McCarron to Butler, it was almost not caught, but it was an amazing catch by Butler. He kind of won us the game off of that catch, to be honest. Shepard got caught 3 for 19, with his long being 13. He was targeted 4 times. Everett caught 2 for 19. His long was 15 and was targeted 2 times. Sailors caught 1 for 11. He was targeted 2 times. Bradley caught 2 for 7. His long was 8, so we must have had a negative play, and he was targeted 2 times. Durant caught 3 for 5. His long was 7, so he also had some negatives. Oh, his long was 3. No, that's targets. I'm looking at the wrong thing. He had 3 targets, and his long was 7, so he also had some negative plays. Aitman, who had that stellar game last game, he only caught 1 ball for 3 yards today, so not good, but Butler stepped up in place of him. But he was targeted 4 times, so maybe some long balls just didn't connect. Sutherland caught 1 for 1. His long was 1. And he caught a touchdown, so... Oh, no, that's his long. He did not catch a touchdown. It was still on the rushing thing that messed me up. And then Jackson was targeted 1 time, but he did not catch a ball. Our defense, we did not get a sack, I don't believe, except on a extra point play, which doesn't count towards the stats. We had 4 tackles for losses, and we had 3 pass deflections, which I think that's what it means. We had 2 almost picks today. It was just a little bit off the mark for both of them, so we could have had 2 interceptions. We ended up with 0. Obviously, we didn't need them, luckily. Okay, it says the fumbles here. Yeah, Bradley fumbled. He lost the ball. Bradley was the person who got 2 for 7. So, unfortunate. We would have pulled away if it wasn't for that. Luckily, we still won, but unfortunate that we had to go down to the wire again. Shepard, who is a really good returnman, returned 5 times for 149 yards, and his long was 43. That was a really good return. On punt return, Shepard also returned 2 for 37, and his long was 32. Smith had a good day today. Unlike last game, he kicked a perfect 3 for 3 for 9 points, and his long was 54, so proud of him. And punting, like I said, we punted 1 time for 37 yards, and that punt was almost blocked, which that would have been a detriment. We probably would have at least went to overtime. Of course, for the Brahmas, Kirkland threw one off of a trick play. Basically, the quarterback threw it to him, and then he threw it. It was smart. I do give him that. Garbers threw a lot today. It's 27 for 41. He only had 143 yards and a touchdown for a QB rating of 79.6, but he threw a lot. And no offense to Garbers, he actually didn't play too bad. Now, 2 of his throws could have been picked, but I believe those were both deflected, so it wouldn't have been totally on him. And then rushing, Levelett ran 12 times for 41 yards and a touchdown. McFarland ran 9 times for 39 yards and a touchdown. Aline ran 4 for 12, and Garbers ran 3 for 10. For receiving, Latimer caught 7 for 58. Kirkland caught 8 for 52. McFarland caught 3 for 24. McStevenson caught 4 for 13. Smith caught 3 for 7. Mack caught 1 for 2 yards. That was a touchdown. He was targeted 3 times. Kirkland was targeted 14 whole times. My goodness. Lovelet caught 1 for 2 yards, and Aline caught 1 for no yards. Their defense got some sacks late. Dalton and Skikes for 2 sacks, 3 tackles for losses, no interceptions, and 2 pass deflections. It still has Garber's fumbling here. I don't think it realizes that they ruled that he didn't fumble. Or maybe it was because he fumbled that it was on the 4th and 4. I'm not too certain, but it says here that Garber's fumbled, so maybe he did fumble and I was just looking at it wrong. And Phillips was the guy who forced the fumble and took it away from us, so Dang you. McStevenson, Aline, and McFarland all had kick returns. Stevenson going for 2 for 42. Aline going for 3 for 62, obviously being the better one. Although McStevenson had a little bit better stats. And McFarland did 1 for 11. No punt returns, as the only punt we punted kind of hit the ground weird because of that almost kick block. Again, glad that ball got off. Santoso kicked 2 for 2 for 35, 6 points. He was also perfect on the day, but a little bit less impressive than our kicker. And for punting, Wing punted 2 times for 46 yards. Oh, he averaged 46 yards, and his long was 50. I don't know why it doesn't give yards. Luckily for Officer, he only punted 1 time, so his average is his yards. And then, to finish it off with the matchup, Battlehawks had the ball for 26 minutes, and the Brahmas had the ball for 34 minutes. We had 9 total drives, they had 8. We had 48 total plays, they had 70, which is a wild difference for only a 7-yard difference. 253 to 260. We had 5.3 yards per play. That they had 3.7. That's probably why they had so many plays. We had 2 red zone touchdowns. They had 3. We had 2 red zone attempts. They had 5. They kicked a lot more field goals than us, obviously. Specifically for passing, we had 140 total yards. They had 158. With 19 completions for us and 28 for them. Again, huge discrepancy. 27 passing attempts for their 42. We had 5.2 yards per attempt. They had 3.8. And we both had 1 passing touchdown. And for rushing, we actually outrushed them on the game. 113 to 102 with 9 less attempts, with 19 to 28. We had 5.9 yards per rush while they had 3.6. And we both had 2 rushing touchdowns. We had 1 turnover in the game, unfortunately, but it didn't lead to us losing, so happy for that. But that's all I really have. We are now first in the XFL, which I'm really proud of. The Defenders are third, Brahmas are second. I forgot who the Defenders played week 1, so that's what I'm going to look at. They played the Brahmas. That's why we're first, because the Brahmas beat them. We beat the Brahmas, which means we're first. They're third. Brahmas are second, and the Roughnecks suck, so they're third. They're fourth. Roughnecks suck, so they're fourth of the USFL. But the Renegades, I feel bad for Luis Perez. He's been playing really good. It's just their team's just not getting it done. Yesterday, they had the game against the Defenders where they blew like a 13-point lead. Very unfortunate for them. Let's look at Perez's stats. Okay, he threw 24 for 40 for 290 yards and 2 touchdowns. Perez is a really good quarterback. It's just unfortunate what his team on his defense is doing for him. Of course, we just beat the Brahmas. They're 2-1 at second. And then a quick look at the USFL. The Stallions, who have looked dominant so far. Their last win was a blowout against the Showboats, who I think are a decent team. They have started 1-2, but they're not the worst team in the world. Which, we're playing them next. The Battlehawks are playing the Showboats next. And it's going to depend what arena we play in. If we play in there, I think, okay, we play in our dome, so we cannot lose this game. Now, the Showboats are from the USFL conference. So, this loss, if we lose, I don't think we will, because I believe we're better than the Showboats. If we lose, it's not the end of the world. Now, if we lose to the Battlehawks on week 5, then we have to risk it out. That's a risk there. But they're playing at Audi Field in Washington, D.C., which they're undefeated in, so we might not win that either. Panthers, who played today, they won their game against the Roughnecks, who suck. And that's all I have to say, apparently. So, good win for the St. Louis Battlehawks. We currently lead the XFL, which I believe we're personally the best team in the XFL, but it's going to be interesting whenever we play the Stallions. That will be on Week 7, May 11th. This will be a game. And it's in their stadium, too, so... But I'm looking way too far ahead now. We got to focus up on this Showboats versus Battlehawks game next week. I don't think I'll be able to watch it because you guys don't know, but I'm in track. We have a first track meet on Sunday. So I don't think I'm going to be able to watch the game, so my review is going to take a bit longer. It's going to depend on the meet schedule, obviously. My review is probably going to take a bit longer. I'm probably going to have to watch the highlights. I'm not going to be able to have the full detail from the game. But I still will get a review out for you guys. And that's all I really have to say for this game. Happy for the Battlehawks. Also happy for the Pacers. In-season tournament predictions coming soon for the NBA. Playoff predictions for the NHL also coming soon. That's just some future videos that I have, but that's all I have to say, and I'll see you guys next time.